Okay. So have you ever, like, been online trying to do something like buy tickets, and right when you hit confirm, like, it just spins and spins?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like, that's the worst, right?
The worst.
But that's kind of what slow transaction speeds in Web3 can feel like.
Yeah, it can be a real bummer.
Like, nobody wants to wait forever for anything.
It is true. In Web3, speed is not just a nice to have. It really is like the foundation of a seamless user experience.
Right.
Imagine waiting an hour for an NFT to show up in your wallet or, for like a trade to go through.
Right. It kind of defeats the purpose of, like, instant ownership.
Exactly.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
But, okay, so the good news is that today we are diving into MagicBlock.
Yes.
This is a solution that's kind of changing the game for Solana and making those, like, sluggish transaction times
Right.
a thing of the past.
What I think is so interesting about MagicBlock is that it doesn't try to get around the problem, it tackles it head on.
Okay.
It's not about moving things off-chain. It's about really, like, supercharging Solana itself. Oh, okay. So instead of building a detour, they're, like, paving an express lane right on the existing highway.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they are doing this with something called ephemeral rollups, which, honestly, it kind of sounds like a sci-fi concept to me.
It really does.
Yeah.
So ephemeral rollups, break it down for us. Like, what are they and how do they, like, make Solana faster?
Okay, so picture a Formula One race.
All right, I'm picturing it.
Cars need to make pit stops for fuel and tire changes, right?
Yeah, of course.
But those pit stops have to be insanely fast.
To keep the car in the race.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So ephemeral rollups are like the pit stops for transactions. They just kind of pop up when they're needed.
Okay.
Process a bunch of transactions in, like, a dedicated space inside the Solana blockchain, and then vanish once the job is done.
So it's kind of like having a dedicated lane that, like, pops up when it's needed and then vanishes to keep everything moving smoothly.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it. But why is that so important? I mean, couldn't you just process everything on the main chain? So that's where you run into a bottleneck.
Okay.
It's kind of like rush hour traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's trying to use the same lanes and things slow to a crawl.
For sure.
But MagicBlock is creating these, like, dedicated block spaces for the ephemeral rollups to use.
Okay.
This keeps things from getting congested and makes sure transactions are processed super fast.
Okay, so we have got the need for speed. We have got our ephemeral pit crew to make it happen.
Yeah.
But, like, how does this actually play out in the real world? Let's start with, like, gaming.
Sure.
That's one of the areas where people are really excited about Web3.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
One of Web3 gaming's big promises is creating these persistent, decentralized worlds.
yeah.
Think, virtual economies, digital societies, the metaverse, all running on a blockchain.
Right.
But to make that happen, you need speed.
Right. You were talking about games that are always on with thousands of players interacting in real time.
Exactly.
So that's a whole other level of performance, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And that's where MagicBlock just shines.
Okay.
It lets developers build games where everything from character actions to, like, in-game transactions happens on-chain with sub-second latency.
Okay.
Imagine trading an NFT sword to another player and it just appears in their inventory instantly.
Wow.
No waiting, no central servers to crash.
Okay, that's huge, seamless trading. But the outline also mentions this thing called open game logic.
Right.
What does that even mean? And how does MagicBlock make it work?
So think about it like this. You've got all these awesome games being built on the blockchain. Wouldn't it be amazing if developers could build on what each other have made?
Yeah.
Like mixing and matching elements to create totally new experiences.
That would be awesome.
That's what open game logic allows for.
Okay.
It promotes this thing called composability, where the game logic and assets are open for anyone to use, which could lead to this whole ecosystem of interconnected games and experiences.
Okay, now that is mind-blowing. It's like giving developers a giant sandbox and saying, go wild. Build off of each other's work.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And MagicBlock's speed is key for this to work.
Right.
Imagine a game world where assets and characters can move between games seamlessly.
Wow.
All happening on-chain without any lag.
It's like the ultimate crossover episode.
Right?
Okay, so we have talked about gaming.
Yeah.
But the outline also mentioned DeFi.
Yes.
How does MagicBlock change things up in DeFi?
Well, speed is really important in DeFi, too. Imagine decentralized exchanges where trades are executed in milliseconds or lending platforms where you borrow and lend crypto instantly.
Wow.
That's the user experience MagicBlock could bring.
So it's not just about convenience. It's about unlocking a whole new level of efficiency and accessibility.
Yeah.
in the world of decentralized finance.
Exactly. It opens up all these possibilities for more complex financial instruments and trading strategies that you just couldn't do if transactions were slow.
Okay, so to sum it all up, if Web3 is this race to build the future of the internet, then MagicBlock is like strapping a rocket booster to your Solana app,
I love that analogy.
leaving the competition in the dust.
It really could change the Web3 landscape.
Yeah, could. So to our listener out there, here's something to think about. What would you build if you had access to this level of speed and scalability?
Yeah.
Would you make the next big blockchain game? Revolutionize DeFi? The possibilities really are limitless. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into MagicBlock. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the limits of what is possible in Web3.